Hello, hello, hello. It's Josh Goldstein, the immigration lawyer here coming at you. I want to say hi to all my friends out there on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Periscope, Twitter, and every other place on the internet. Today, I'm coming to you live to answer any questions that you have about green cards, work permits, visas, 221G, administrative processing, visa delays, all the craziness that's going on with all the consulates around the world. I thought we'd be done with this by now, but we're not. It's ongoing and it's terrible. And our office has been incredibly busy fighting these visa delays, delayed green cards, delayed citizenship, delays. This week, I was interviewed by Bloomberg News for a story they're doing about delayed immigration, and I tried to share as many of my insights into this problem as I could. And I really appreciate the media starting to pay attention to, hey, Armando, welcome. Hope you're well. I'm glad that the media is finally starting to pay attention to this issue that's impacting all of you so much. It's good. I'm going to be making new videos today. And if you have questions, first of all, if you have questions, put them in the comments below. And I will try my best to answer your questions. And I'll try to be as comprehensive as I possibly can. But I also, if your question is kind of complicated or if it's something that I think would benefit others, I'll make an entire video just for you to answer your question. Salah, hello, salam alaikum. Hope you're well. First time, Patty, welcome. I'll tell you some of the videos that I plan to be making today. First of all, one of the things that people should know is when you go to a USCIS interview, or you're applying for a green card or a work permit or something like that, one of the problems that comes up with delayed cases is that your case could be in a cave. A frickin' cave. Now, I'm not talking about your cases in a cave as in it's like a metaphor for delay. I'm not talking about, Plato's concept of a cave. I'm talking about an actual cave, like that you go in and it has bats and stalactites and stalagmites or whatever those things are. I'm not talking about, I'm talking about an actual cave. USCIS stores its old records inside a cave in Kentucky. It's called the National Record Center. And if they ever say to you that your case is at the National Record Center, you can be damn sure that you're not going to get approved anytime soon. Their records are potentially not accessible, and you need to really consider doing a lawsuit. So that's one thing I'm going to bring up. The next thing that I want to mention, the other video that I'm going to make is one of the videos I have on YouTube that people have gotten a lot of value out of, I think, is a video about what the word refused means. You apply for a visa and they say it's refused. Well, what does refused means? I have a video where I explain that refused does not mean denied. Refused means pending. Well, I had a case in federal court. The U.S. Attorney's Office, they didn't like this. They didn't agree with me. They took the legal position that refused meant denied. Obviously, they hadn't seen my YouTube video. I laugh, but so we basically had a disagreement on facts. They said that our case was denied because it was refused, and we said it was pending because it said refused. We went back and forth, and guess what? We won. The judge adopted our position, rejected the U.S. Attorney's Office position, and our case has been cited nationally by other lawyers. So we're really proud of that, and we're proud of the work we do to stand up and fight for victims of visa delays and immigration delays. Now, why do I do what I do? I do it because I hate these delays. I hate them. I hate administrative processing, 221G. I hate all that. And I want to bring families together. I know how much of an impact this has had on your lives. I talk to people all the time who have applied for their husbands, for their wives, for their children, for their parents, and everything is just stuck. and nothing seems to pass. Days go by, weeks go by, months go by. Nothing works. And then we go in, we file lawsuits, and we fight these delays. We've had a ton of new cases for people who are Persian. And if you're in Iran or you're Persian and you're listening, welcome, because we stand with you. I think that people who are from Iran or who are Persian should be able to get a visa processed just like anybody else. Why is it such a radical idea to be treated equally under the law? That's a fundamental American concept. It's a basic idea of justice. And that's why I do what I do. So that's another thing. Let me answer a few questions and I'll go back to some of the things that are on my mind. Sema Rabani, thank you and welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy that you took the time to tune in. I hope you're having a wonderful Saturday. Says, when you have, I'll put your question up because I think it's a great one. First of all, that's a wonderful picture of you. Hello, Josh. When you have a green card, any important information to know not to get deported? Not to get deported? Well, first of all, I guess I would tell you to relax. A lot of times people worry about being deported unnecessarily. Obviously, your immigration status is important and you don't want to get deported. And there's always that fear, but is there a specific reason why you're worried about being deported? One thing I always tell my clients, it's kind of a glib thing to say, but I always say, look, you should not be worried unless I look worried. If I've reviewed your case and I've prepared everything and I don't look worried and I'm smiling and I'm cracking jokes, you shouldn't be worried about being deported. Okay? You just shouldn't. So there's that. But information on how to not get deported, I guess number one would be make sure your case is well prepared. Make sure you're working with a good, really, really good immigration lawyer, whether it's me or someone else. Don't try to do this on your own, but get someone involved who knows what they're doing. Second thing is if you have any kind of criminal issues or any problems with immigration in the past, immigration is going to know about it. They know everything. So you definitely want to have your case screened very carefully for a lawyer, by a lawyer. When we prepare clients for interviews, we go through everything meticulously. We go through everything, and we do everything we can to make sure our clients have the absolute best chance of success at their interviews. So I hope these tips are inspiring for you. Let me go to some more questions. Knowing yourself. Hello. Richard, just sitting here watching Jaws. I hope that means the movie, Steven Spielberg movie, because that's a great movie, Jaws. Here's a great question. Salah Al-Hadai. Salah, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you're well, and I want to try to answer your question. So, my friend, this person says, Salah says, I did my interview on February 1st at the U.S. Embassy in Djibouti, IR1. That means that the visa is an immigrant visa based on marriage. Said, although all my documents are complete, the consul said I should be in administrative processing. He gave me the yellow paper with the first option in it, and I checked the CIAC website on February 1st, which was rejected, and on February 2nd, it was rejected again. What should I do? I'm Yemeni, and I'm now waiting for a response from the consulate. Okay, this is a great question. I am so happy you asked me, and I'm so happy that I get a chance to answer you. First of all, go back to this. When you check the CIAC website, was it rejected or does it say refused? I want you to put that in the comments below because I think it's very important. On CIAC, they use the word refused, okay? The case was refused. Again, refused means pending, okay? So I want to clarify that. You said, what should I do? I'm Yemeni, and I'm now waiting for a response to the consulate. Well, first of all, if you're from Yemen, my heart goes out to you and your family because I know what's going on in Yemen. I know about the situation there, and it's horrible, and it's affecting so many different people. There's one thing that, not always, but I see it very often in the cases that I work on. When there's a significant delay in visa processing, there's one thing that often comes into play, and that is the person applying for the visa is either Muslim or from a majority Muslim country. I hate that. I think people should have a chance to get their visas processed in a reasonable time period, and they shouldn't have to wait longer just because they're Muslim. That's not fair. That's not legal. That's not American. It's not constitutional. And it makes me upset because it separates people from their families. It separates husbands from their wives. It separates people who deserve to be together, to live the life that they want to live in America. You should not be given administrative processing just because you happen to be from a particular country, that the majority of the people in your country happen to be Muslim. You shouldn't be given that. If the consulate needs additional documents, they should request them. And if they request additional documents, you should provide those documents. But they shouldn't be holding you in administrative processing. And what I see in my practice again and again and again and again is the same nonsense. They make people wait for days and days and months and weeks and months and years, and time goes on. And meanwhile, you and your spouse are separated. So I hate that. So what should you do? First of all, there's one rule that I want everyone on this YouTube channel to follow, and that is this: waiting just leads to more waiting. Waiting leads to more waiting. Waiting is not going to solve your problem. A lot of times people go to these interviews and they think that they need to wait for 60 days. You don't need to wait for 60 days. A lot of times people think they need to wait 180 days. You don't need to wait 180 days. You need to take action. And I will, if you send me an email, I'm going to put my email on here. This is my personal email. If you have questions about your case specifically, I want you to email me. Here's my email. Send me an email. I will send you for free an answer to your question, and I will also send you I'll send you a free copy of I wrote a book about how to get visas approved and what to do when you're in administrative processing, and what to do when you have a 221G situation. You go to the interview, you deserve to be approved, you don't get approved. You get a mysterious delay. So if you email me and you send me an email and say hello, I will be glad to be as helpful as I possibly can for free. You don't even have to hire me. I'll help you out anyway. I'll share with you my answer to your question, and I'll also send you my book for free that you can download. Now, back to our friend on YouTube, Salah. Sorry, it is refused. I was right. You see, it wasn't rejected, it was refused. And that's a very significant difference. Of course, we use these terms rejected, denied, refused. When we're talking about cases, we throw out these terms here and there. But this is what the real story is. Refused means pending. And Salah, I hope you get your visa approved on Monday. If you don't get your visa approved right away, I am here to help you. I'll share my book with you. I'll answer your questions, whatever I can do for you. Okay. Alessandro, I recently hired you to take over my mandamus case. That's a smart move, my friend. I welcome you to the family, and we're going to take great care of your case. We're reviewing things now. I don't want to talk about your particular case live on YouTube and Facebook, so we'll talk about this later, but I want to welcome you to our practice and let you know that we're reviewing things and working on it. What makes a misdemeanor a CIMT? Okay, so let's break this down. Great question. What's a CIMT and what's a misdemeanor? A misdemeanor is a classification of a criminal offense in the US. It's a minor one. Murder is not a misdemeanor. Shoplifting and jaywalking and things like that are misdemeanors. Each state has a different definition of what a misdemeanor is and what a felony is, but basically it's a minor crime at the state level. Secondly, a CIMT. This CIMT stands for Crime Involving Moral Turpitude. CIMT. This is a concept in immigration law. And basically, it means a criminal offense involving something bad, something morally bad, right? Jaywalking is not morally bad. A speeding ticket is not morally bad. Running a stop sign is not morally bad. These are things that there are criminal offenses that are not morally bad. However, theft involves stealing, and that's considered a CIMT, a crime involving moral turpitude. Anything involving lying or fraud or misrepresentation or theft, those sorts of things fall within the category of CIMT. Now, whether a particular crime is or is not a CIMT is an incredibly complicated, it's a simple question, but the answer is incredibly complicated. And there are so many different cases in different states and different federal circuit courts that debate whether something is or is not a crime involving moral turpitude. And to determine whether a particular criminal offense falls within this definition, you have to do some research and look at it and review it. And if it is, you won't, if you do have a crime involving moral turpitude, you probably won't get a green card without a waiver. So that's my answer to you. And we will be in touch with you on Monday or Tuesday about your case. Okay. J. Jack El Majo. Hello, I'm from El Salvador. Saludos y bienvenidos a nuestro canal. That's my Spanish for the day. I have a pending visa category F4, and my visa was denied under 212 AE6. Do I qualify for a waiver? Well, off the top of my head, I don't know what 212 AC6, 212A, let's see, what is this? AE6? I'm just looking this up. So this is alien smuggling is the name of this section. There is a waiver for alien smuggling. That's what this is. And if they believe that you have engaged in alien smuggling, which sounds kind of scary, like it sounds like human trafficking or something really terrible like that, but it's usually just people bringing their families to the US, their children or their cousins or something like that. So, but if you qualify for a waiver, that is something that you need to talk to a lawyer, or I would need to review the facts of your case and review the law more carefully and ask you some questions to determine whether or not you meet this definition. So, but it's a great question. I'm going to put my email up again, and again, I will make an offer to you. If you have a specific question about your immigration case, you can email me. I'll try my best to answer your question. And also, if you have a situation where you have a visa delayed and you want a free copy of my book on how to get a delayed visa, visa case approved, just contact me and I'll send it to you. Hope that my answer was helpful to you, my friend in El Salvador. I hope it was helpful. Let's see what else we have here. DC Bueno, good evening, sir. Good evening to you, my friend. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Small Derek, Josh, you skipped my question. I'm sorry, brother. I'm sorry. I'll do my best to help you out. Small Derek. My question is, I'm here with a B1, B2 visa with the aim of going back, but my wife is refusing for me to turn back because she's pregnant. What do I do from here? We already have an I-130 filed. Okay, Derek, Derek Small. So, first of all, I appreciate the Spinal Tap reference. I hope you are the guy from Spinal Tap, so that's great. But first of all, before we get to that, if your wife is pregnant, I want to congratulate you because I'm a father myself. I have 2 kids, 2 little boys. I have one dude who's 3 and another almost 4, another dude who's 6.5. And it's the greatest joy of my life to be a father. And so I want to congratulate you on your expected child. But let's talk about immigration. In order to get a B1, B2 visitor visa, in order to get a visitor visa, you have to prove that you are not going to immigrate to the United States. You're not going to stay in the United States. You're just going to the US for a visit. That's all you're doing. You want to come to the US to attend a wedding, and then you're going to go back to your home country. You want to come to the US to go to Disneyland, or to go to a funeral or a business meeting, or to take a picture of the Grand Canyon, or to go shopping. Any of those short-term tourist type situations or short visits where you can prove that you have a job in your home country, you have property in your home country, you have a compelling reason to come back to the US. If you can do that, the consulate will give you a visitor visa. In this situation, it seems like the consulate did not give you a visitor visa. And the reason they didn't give you a visitor visa is that you are married. And it sounds to me, my guess is that your wife is a US citizen or permanent resident. And furthermore, I'm guessing that she filed an I-130 for you. So you've already demonstrated that you plan to immigrate, that you're not just a visitor, and that you're not going to go back to your home country. You're going to immigrate to the US. So as cruel as it is, they will not allow you to come in as a visitor. You're going to get a visa to come to the US, and this visa is going to allow you to get a green card, but on this particular trip, on this particular instance, they're not going to give you a visitor visa. And I really hope the timing lines up and that you get your visa approved before your wife delivers, so that you can be there for that important moment. I hope that answer was helpful. Let's see. Here we go. Knowing yourself. You skipped my question as well, sir. I'm sorry to skip any questions. Let me go back and try to answer it. Know yourself. Okay. What's the best visa for me? My girlfriend visited me for one time in 3 years. We dated. Should I get married or should I start the fiancé visa? Boy, that's a great question. Okay. If you take anything away from this live session, there's one thing I want you to know. The fiancé visa is no good. I hate the fiancé visa. Do not apply for the fiancé visa. Don't do it. I know there's this TV show, 90 Day Fiancé, and I know that all of you out there who are engaged to get married probably think that the fiancé visa is simple, fast, and easy, and it's the way you should do it. And people call me all the time. They're like, Josh, I want to apply for a fiancé visa. I'm engaged to get married. I met someone online. We're in love. We spent this time together. Let's do it. Let's do it. I want the fiancé visa. You don't want the fiancé visa. The fiancé visa, I give it the thumbs down. It's bad news. Stay away from the fiancé visa. I could talk for an hour on this topic, but just trust me. Let me give you a few. Well, let's get to the point here. What should you do instead of the fiancé visa? You should get married. I mean, that's what you're going to do anyway. You should go outside the US, marry your girlfriend, and then petition for her as your wife. That's what you should do. That is a much better path than the fiancé visa. And sometimes people will say, well, get married. I'm not ready to get married. Well, if you're not ready to get married, then don't do the case. The other objection that I have is, well, isn't that going to take a really long time? All these cases are taking longer than they should, longer than you want them to take. But the fiancé visa It's like the middle child of immigration. It's not given any respect. And even under the best of circumstances, the fiancé visa is far more complicated than the marriage-based visa. Now, let me say a word about getting married. If you are going to follow my advice and get married instead of the fiancé visa, what you should not do, what you should never do, is some sort of a marriage where you can appear by proxy, or something where like a representative would allow you to get married, or you could appear through video conferencing. I'm talking about traveling in person to a country outside of the US where you would get married in person, and you and your spouse or your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, would be in the same place at the same time. And that's what it'd be. Whether it's in one country or another country, that's what I recommend that you do. I hope that helps. And I want to congratulate you on this. And if you want further help from me, or you're interested in hiring a lawyer to help you with the case, message me, email me. But if you do nothing other than get married instead of the fiancé visa, you will be so far ahead of where you would have been otherwise. So I hope that that answer was helpful and provided a lot of value to you. Ibrahim Karti, welcome, brother. Welcome, welcome, welcome to you and all my other friends on YouTube. Our YouTube channel, by the way, is Immigration Station. I created it just for you, to be a resource for you, to inspire you, and to support you in your immigration journey on your road to success. So my question is, NIV related, non-immigrant visa, but I'm stuck in administrative processing. First of all, I'm sorry that you're stuck in administrative processing. And I'm sorry that anyone gets stuck in administrative processing. I hate administrative processing. There's no one out there, even you, Ibrahim, but there's no one out there that hates administrative processing as much as I do. I hate it, and I've devoted my entire life to fighting these delays. There are basically, for anyone that's first of all, what is administrative processing? Administrative processing is known by two other terms. It's also known as refused, and it's also known as 221G. So if you're told that your visa was refused, or that it's in 221G, or that it's in administrative processing, all those things mean the same thing. And that means, number one, you had an interview for your visa. Okay, or there was a visa waiver, but basically the interview component was satisfied. And secondly, the processing of your visa is not yet complete. Now, why is the processing of your visa not complete? What's going on with that? I can't say at all. But what I can say is that you have two ways to get out of administrative processing. There are only two ways to get out. One way is to wait. Take your hands and sit on them and keep waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And whether it takes a few days or a few weeks or a few months or even a few years or decades, at some point, maybe they'll get around to making a decision. And the other way to get your visa out of administrative processing is to take action and not to wait. Because if you're seeking an H-1B visa and you keep waiting, you could lose your job. If you're seeking a student visa and you keep waiting, you might lose your scholarship or your opportunity to study in the US, which is a stepping stone to other opportunities in the US. So you need to take action on this. And if you're applying for a green card through marriage, and you keep waiting and waiting and waiting, hoping that at some point they'll process your paperwork, and they don't, well, then you are at risk of maybe your marriage relationship will be damaged. Maybe it would fall apart. We've seen that happen in our practice, and it's heartbreaking. Or you have this lingering and prolonged separation from your spouse. It's not good for anyone. And you need to take action. So what do I mean by taking action? What I mean by this is that we go to court and we sue them. We file a lawsuit against the agencies. We sue the consulate. We sue the National Visa Center. I hate them. We sue the State Department. We sue the Department of Justice. We sue the FBI. We sue USCIS. We sue everyone up and down the chain of command who has any legal obligation related to the processing of your immigration case. We sue them, and the basis of the lawsuit is that the delay is unreasonable. These agencies have a legal obligation to make a final decision within a reasonable period of time. And when they don't do that, when they don't make a decision, we have to hold them accountable. And we do that through lawsuits. That's what we do. So that's my long-winded answer to your question. Hope that helps. Is this resonating with anyone? I'll go back to Sima. It says, I submitted my documents. It shows refused for a few days, and then it shows ready for a week, and then it shows administrative processing. One day it shows refused, which is heartbreaking. One day later it shows issued. The whole system is mind-blowing. It is, and I'm sorry, Sima, I'm sorry that this is happening to you. But what I want to tell you about SEAC, those messages on SEAC where it says refused, and then it says issued, and then it says ready, and then it says administrative processing. SEAC is like a pinball machine. It's just blinking. It's operated through automation by, and the messages are not, they're not reliable. They're not worth anything. Yes, you should log into SEAC. Yes, you should pay attention to the messages, but it doesn't mean much. As far as I'm concerned, there are only two statuses. You either have your visa in your hands or you do not have your visa. That's it. Whether the visa is actually physically in your hands or it's not in your hands is the only possible question. Everything else is all talk. You can, if it says ready or issued or processed or administrative process is complete or refused or whatever it is, who knows what that means? Who cares what that means? You want the visa in your hands. That's it. Bethu Love, answer me, please. I will try to do that. Let me go back to your question. Bethu. Let me see if I can find your question. Forgive me. I want to try to find it because Bethu, could you post your question again and I'll come back to it? Forgive me, but there's a big stream of messages on my end and I can't quite see it. So forgive me. It's a Saturday afternoon here. My wife is off with my boys and I'm in the office working. I just wanted to jump on live to say hi to everyone and to thank you for the time you've spent engaging with me online and sending me your questions. And I really want to do everything I can to be helpful to all of you. Let me see if I can answer your questions. I'll go to, oh wait, let's see. Mohammed Al-Shati, please answer my questions. I can use your advice. Okay, I'll try to do that. Al-Shati. You didn't get to my question. Okay, let me see if I can answer it. I don't know if I can answer all these questions. I can try, but let me see what I can do. I'm currently in the US. I applied for OPT extension. FedEx didn't deliver my papers on time, and USCIS denied my case. Wow, Mohammed, that's terrible. You shouldn't lose the opportunity to work in the US just because of FedEx. I am not sure off the top of my head what you should do, but I think you should contact a lawyer. There's not an easy fix for this. Off the top of my head, I would have to know a lot more information, and I think that may be something that you need a one-on-one advice from a lawyer for. It's not, I can't think of a genuine situation there. Unfortunately, I'm not sure there even is a great answer. I want to answer Bethu's question. I can't find your question. Please repost it, and I'll do my best to answer. Applied for a motion to reopen. I think that's smart. Is a lawyer handling your case, Mohammed? A good immigration lawyer handling your case, or are you trying to do it on your own? Oftentimes, that's the difference between success and failure. And, you know, as an immigration lawyer, it often sounds pretty self-serving for me to say, you should hire an immigration lawyer. Of course he's going to say that. Of course, a lawyer should say you should hire a lawyer. But nevertheless, it is kind of true. You know, if you hire someone who's a professional and an expert, someone who has knowledge, skills, and experience solving the problems that you have, you're more likely to get a better result than if you just go online and start trying to wing it. No, I'm not. Now, again, I don't know your situation. I don't know whether you've hired a lawyer or not. Maybe you have a great lawyer helping you with it, but I'm just pointing this out. All right. Omar, my brother and friend from YouTube. Hello, they give me DS 5535 and I never been out of Egypt. So what the reason they let me give this paper and all the people it was traveled out of Egypt. I think I understand what your question is. My Arabic is terrible, so I wish I could answer your question directly in Arabic, but I can't. So let me try to answer the question that I think you're asking. I think what you're saying is you went to your interview, you applied for a visa, and instead of getting the visa, they gave you a request to fill out form DS 5535, and you're wondering why you got that. And maybe you're wondering what the next steps are. Let me answer that question. The question is DS 5535. What is that? What is the DS 5535? That's the question. DS 5535. So DS 5535 is a form that you have to fill out. And if they ask you for it, and it's basically where they ask you for a lot of very personal information, mostly about your social media use and your travel history, your work history. What they're trying to do is they're trying to engage in what Donald Trump and his administration would talk about when there was a Muslim ban. Remember the Muslim ban? And they talked about extreme vetting. Basically, if you're Muslim or you're from a majority Muslim country, they treat you like garbage. They treat you like a criminal. They treat you like a terrorist. And they make you provide all this detailed information that they're supposed to review before they can finish processing your application. You have to fill it out. You have to answer. And the worst part about it is it takes forever. It takes forever, and it drags on and on and on, and it's painful. But nevertheless, I think that's what you have to do. Fill out the DS 5535, send it in, and do your best from there. So let me, Bethu, please don't skip me. Where's your question? I can't see. I'm trying my best to answer your question. Thank you, sir. Answer my question. But where is your question? Let me see if I can find it. Bethu Love, hello. If you post your question again, please, I would be happy to answer your question. I just, in this portal, Patty Molina, are there answering FOIA requests? Does USCIS answer a FOIA request? Absolutely. It takes a really long time. They're supposed to do it faster, but they don't. Ekbal, Our friend from YouTube. Hello, Mr. Josh. My husband had his interview on February 1st. He wasn't missing anything or nothing. Nothing was wrong. And all they told him that he was refused. Well, I hate that. I'm sorry that that happened. I think that's horrible. You deserve to get, your husband deserves to get a visa. It sounds like he's a good man. There's no reason why he shouldn't get the visa. But instead of getting the visa, they're just going to make him wait and wait and wait. And how long is this going to wait? And what, if anything, are they actually even checking? The answer is, who knows? And who cares? All we care about is getting the visa issued, getting the visa into his hands. What we do is we fight those delays, and we do it with lawsuits. We get amazing results for people. If you want to keep waiting, you don't need my help. But waiting has a cost, and waiting is ineffective. And waiting often leads to more waiting. There's a better way. Let's take action. Let's fight these delays. Let me put my email again up here. If you are sick of waiting and you're serious about getting this case approved and avoiding any kind of delay, message me. And in the subject line of your email, I want you to just put no more waiting. No more waiting. That's what I want you to pick and put in there so it comes to my attention right away. No more waiting. Waiting leads to more waiting. Waiting leads to more waiting. Hope this helps. And my heart goes out to anyone stuck in administrative processing, anyone who is struggling to get their cases approved. I'm here for you. I'm here to help. Send me an email. Send me your questions, and I'll do my best to help you out. Take care, in solidarity, and I'll see you soon.